All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another Move Well Wednesday segment. For this routine, all you're going to need is your mat and possibly a water bottle for when you get thirsty. So for today, I'm not going to go ahead and use that timer because I'm sick of the sound. So I'm going to go ahead and keep everything on my watch. Everything we do is going to be for a minute, our typical usual. I'm going to go ahead and add some different movements, some movements that we've done in the past, just because in mobility, consistency is where you're going to improve the range of motion and everything else. For those who are on, go ahead and confirm that you see me horizontally, and then from there, we'll go ahead and start. So just let me know if it is horizontal. When I get that confirmation, I'll go ahead and start. I'm just going to go ahead and run it on my laptop as well. Am I horizontal? Okay, I am horizontal. All right, everyone, so let's go ahead and get started. I want you to start off at the edge of your mat, and we're going to start with our rocking movement just the way we did last week. So with this movement, you're going to go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Go ahead and grab a hold of your shins. What you're going to do here is tuck your tailbone under, and we're gently going to rock. Just a gentle rock. In order for the rocking movement to be smooth, what you want to keep in mind is really focus on tucking in that pelvis or the tailbone so it's a nice smooth rock. So go ahead and continue that movement. We're going to go ahead and stay here for about a minute, and then we'll go ahead and switch. I personally like this movement because I feel like, especially in the morning, it's a good little movement to wake the body up. It's nice and gentle, so just nice and slow. It's okay to be moving across the mat. That happens to me. Let's just move nice and slow. Again, tuck that pelvis under so it's a nice and smooth rock. Come up to that fully seated position. Nice and slow here, everyone. I just want to go ahead and check on some of the comments, but go ahead and continue. You are already 45 seconds in, so continue that out. From here, in about 15 seconds, we're going to go ahead and go into our dead bug. So this is going to be a core movement for you all. So keep that up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and lie back on your mat. Hips and knees come up into the 90 degrees, hands come up. I'm going to go opposite arm, opposite leg, full extension. So right arm, left leg, full extension, come back into my center. Left arm, right leg, full extension. What you want to keep in mind is when you come to this end range, I want you to go ahead and tighten up your quad and tighten up your glute. So maximal contraction at that very bottom, come back in. Maximal contraction, come back in. And the way I go ahead and do that is I like to flex my ankle and then flex my quad and flex my glute. What I keep in mind is you want to keep that neutral spine as you go down, so not allowing it to overly arch. Again, just keep moving with the breath. 7 seconds to go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and move on into our knee extensions. So grab both hands underneath your knee or behind your thigh. What you're going to do here is let's start off at the top. What I want you to do is I want you to lift your heel up to the ceiling and come back. So right now we're just going to work on the heel portion. So heel up to the ceiling and come back. Heel up to the ceiling and come back. It is okay to shake because I am doing that now. So again, just heel up, come back. Heel up, come back. Let's just warm up the calf a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and work on that knee. So heel up to the ceiling and come back. Heel up. I like to think about it as also pressing on the gas, but heel up works too. So from here, now we'll go into our full knee extension. So what you want to keep in mind with your knee extension is go as straight as you can, or lift your knee up as high as you can. And then with this movement, it's okay to hear some snap, crackles, and pops. Just again, just be mindful. Understand that you're in charge of your own body. Just do whatever's gonna make it feel good. For those who want to challenge themselves, you're gonna go ahead and do a double. This is a lot for me, but I just wanted to go ahead and demonstrate it out for you all. You have the option of going simultaneous. I'm gonna go ahead and still stick to my first foot. Keep going for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, go ahead and switch. Let's go ahead and start off with just the heel lift. So lifting the heel towards the ceiling. This is gonna give you a nice little pull behind the in the calf. So with your calf, you have two muscles. One is your gastroc, one is your soleus. So this is gonna go ahead and work on both. That is why, for some who are tight, like my calves are, it hurts. A good hurt. Now from here, let's go ahead and go into our knee extensions. Fully up, or again, as high as you can. It's okay to hear those snap, crackles, and pops. That is very normal. Let me go ahead and check. What's up, guys? Good morning. Go ahead and continue that movement out. Again, this is just gonna be working on that knee. 15 more seconds, and we're gonna go ahead and transfer into our glute bridge. So let's continue that out. Again, just moving with the breath. Make sure that the movement feels good when completing this. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. So for your glute bridge, I want your palms to face the ceiling, and I want you to focus on pressing the back of the arm against the ground as you lift your hips up. Try to get it up as high as you can, again, as long as that feels good. A limiting factor when doing a glute bridge that may limit you from going, getting that full range is a tight hip flexor. So your hip flexor is going to be right about here. And what you can do to help stretch that out or increase your range of motion there are those little hip flexor movements that we've been doing, where one foot goes up on the chair and you tilt the pelvis. So that I have a lot of personal clients who, when doing the glute bridge, feel that they're very limited. So one thing that you can work on is that hip flexor movement or hip flexor stretch to help better engage your glutes during the glute bridge. So let's continue that out. 4, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, go ahead and rest. So for this, we're gonna go ahead and do one single leg glute bridge. So one single leg glute bridge, come back down. From here, I'm gonna abduct. So I'm gonna take my thigh or leg out as much as I can, then bring it back across my body. This is gonna give you a nice little stretch all throughout this region. Come back and switch. So single leg glute bridge, open up that leg as far as it can go down, take it across your body. When you're taking it across your body, make sure that your toes are pointing in that direction as well. Come back in. Single leg glute bridge, come back. Open up that thigh, go ahead and take it across your body. Hold that for a second, come back in, switch. Again, single leg glute bridge. Open up that thigh as far as it can go, come back across. When you're opening up that thigh, I tend to feel a lot of tightness in mine, and that's okay, as long as there's no pain. So tightness is something that we can work around and work with, but just be sure to avoid that pain. You're gonna open up as far as it can go. Go ahead and take that all the way across. So what we're doing with this movement is we're working on our inner thigh as well as our outer thigh. So you're gonna be feeling a nice little stretch on your inner thigh. Just be very cautious with that one. And then you're gonna feel a nice little tug going from your glutes to about your TFL, so right about here. So go ahead and continue that movement out. Let's go for another 15 more seconds. So single leg glute bridge, open that up, take it right across. 10 seconds, up, open that up, and take it right across. Good, so from here, the side that you land on, we're gonna do an open book. So keep your feet in the same position that it's in. Go ahead and go palm to palm, and you're gonna open up. We're transferring straight into our open book from here. Go ahead and continue that movement out. What I like to do in my open book is my bottom hand I like to bring it on my top knee and then go just like so. This gives me a nice little back stretch as I do it, so I end up feeling the pull all throughout this region. And for me, since I'm very tight, it helps just loosen up and open up those muscles a little bit. So again, I like to just grab a hold of my thigh as I go ahead and continue this movement. To make your open book a little more challenging, what you can do is you can keep that top hand on the ground as you open up. This is going to be a windmill style. It's going to be a little deeper pull on that chest muscle. So a couple options for you all. We're here for another 10, and we'll go ahead and switch our side. Take your time with this open book movement. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch. I'm just going to turn. So right here, same thing. Again, you're more than welcome to grab a hold of that knee as you go through your movement. And I like to keep my hand on the ground. That allows me to get a deeper pull in my chest. Just make sure you're moving with your breath. Continue out the movement. And again, just make sure that it feels good. With this movement, I do tend to hear a little crack or pop in my shoulder, and that's okay. Again, it's going to be okay if you do hear pops, cracks in your shoulders, in your knees, in your hips, as long as there's no pain with the movement. So let's go ahead and continue this movement out. We're going to be here for another 10 more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and do some hip mobility. So continue this out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come up. So I know that for the last couple weeks we've been working on the 90-90 sit, and what I want to do today is I want to go ahead and progress it just a little bit. So let me go ahead and face you when I do it. So setting up the 90-90, go ahead and bring your knee into a 90-degree angle. Make sure you have that little gap in between as well. So avoiding connecting your heel to your knee. So make sure that there's a space, and make sure that the knee is parallel to your hip. So what we're going to do here is you're going to go down, keeping that neutral spine, and then we're going to go and rotate. So I'm going to go ahead and do this movement this way. So the way it looks is right here, and you're going to go ahead and rotate. Going all the way down with the neutral spine, rotating. So we're creating it, we're doing it as a flow this time. For those who are a little more progressed or want a progression, you're going to do it with no hands. Going down with no hands. This is a little more challenging on the core and on the hip. So you have an option of doing it just like so, where you hold onto the ground, and you have the option of not holding onto the ground and going with that movement. So do whatever that makes you feel good. If you have the core strength and the hip mobility to go without the arms, go ahead and do that. Continue this movement now. Make sure you're breathing. Again, your regression is going to be done just like so. Gently moving across, planting down, going into that hip hinge. Your progression is without touching the ground. So again, just make sure you're being mindful and listening to what your body wants. Continue this out, team. Let's go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's work on those shin boxes that we did that last time. So with this, you're going to set it up. It's similar to a 90-90, but I kind of want you to connect. So this is where I kind of want you to connect that heel to your knee. What you're going to do here is you're going to lift up onto your shin, come back down nice and slow. What I want you to think about is pushing the shin or digging your shin into the ground as you lift up. So push that shin into the ground as you lift up, making sure you tighten up your glutes at the very top and control the landing. So to see it from a different angle, I want you to focus on the descent a little more. So coming up, locking out, and I want you to go nice and slow on the way down, making sure you keep that neutral spine. So neutral spine meaning right about here, where I'm not overly rounding my back, I'm keeping it neutral. So right here, squeezing at the top, gently lowering yourself down. When you're lowering, I want you to take about 4 to 5 seconds, I would say. So we're working on that eccentric portion, so the lowering portion. Keep it up for 15, and we're gonna go ahead and switch. Lifting up nice and high, locking out those hips, taking your time on the way down. Last one here, everyone. Lift up, lock out, nice and slow. Good. Go ahead and switch. Again, to set up, I want you to push your shin against the ground as you lift up. So your shin is going to give you the power or the force to lift up off that ground. Up, lock out, nice and slow on the way down. Again, up, lock out, nice and slow on the way down. Go ahead and grab some water. Go ahead and just breathe with that movement. Inhaling down, exhaling, driving up. We're already halfway, so continue that movement out, everyone. Again, just make sure you're breathing and just make sure the movement feels good. Nice and slow on that way down, locking up that hip at the top. Nice and slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Let's go ahead and go through some shoulder mobility. So we're going to go into our shoulder cars. Our shoulder cars are going to be done in an all-4 position. So to set up, you go wrists beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips, making sure that the eye of the elbow is facing forward. So right about here, facing forward. What I'm going to do is with my right arm, I'm going to go up as high as I can, turn the palm out, and around in that full circle. Again, up as high as you can go, turn that palm out, and go around in the circle. So with this movement, this is where I have more difficulty completing this one because I have had a shoulder injury in the past. So what I tend to do is I compensate. And what that looks like is I shift my hip as I go through this movement. So for those who feel like they're compensating, feel like they're shifting or they're dropping their elbow, what I do is I come into this seated position and I do the same exact movement. Up as high as I can, turn my palm out and around in that circle. This allows me to be a little more mindful with my compensations because when I compensate, it affects my lower back. So I'd rather go through this movement and go through about 3 or 4 really good reps instead of forcing myself to do some half-assed ones. So again, for those who have any shoulder pains, you're welcome to do the movement just like I am right now. And again, just listen to your body. With mine, my shoulder mobility has gotten better, but again, it's not the best. So what I do is I kind of just focus on that movement. I try to be mentally with it. So if something feels off, I'll go ahead and catch myself. So let's go one more. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch your side. So for those who have me a little closer, you can see that I shift my body a little bit, but it doesn't affect my back as much as it does when I'm in the all-4 position. So that is the reason why I prefer to do it just like so instead of on all 4s. For those who are doing it in an all-4 position, go ahead and take your time. So I want each circle to take about 5 to 7 seconds, so you're not just going fast like this. We want to get the benefit of that mobility, of that range of motion. And for those who want to make it a little harder, if you have a foam roller, go ahead and plant it off to your side, so pretty close to you. What that's going to do is that's going to give you feedback. So if you knock it down, you knock it down. So the closer you bring the foam roller to you, if this was the foam roller, the closer I bring it to me, the harder it becomes. The farther away it is from me, the easier it becomes. So for those who would like to challenge themselves, go ahead and plant a foam roller or anything that you have that can be upright, so even a chair. I don't want to see myself knock it down, so I'm going to continue this movement. Let's go 10 more seconds. Again, up as high as you can, turn that palm out, and around in that full circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice, everyone. So from here, we're going to go from a down dog into a pigeon. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. What you do with this, you're going to start off in a push-up plank position. So right about here, where your wrist is beneath your shoulder. From here, you're going to hike up into your down dog position. I prefer to do a modified, which is bending my knees. For those who have better range of motion than mine, go ahead and extend out your knees. So way better than this. I'm going to go ahead and bend my knee. From here, I step one foot in and I hold my pigeon. From here, I kick that foot back, go back into my down dog, opposite foot. So it's just a nice little flow here. You're welcome to move a little faster than me or a little slower than me. So if you'd like to hold each and every position for a little longer, by all means, go for it. So right about here, going, switching, coming up nice and high. If you'd like to take your pigeon lower, go ahead and do that. Right up here, making sure we're moving with our breath with this movement. I'm going to go ahead and check comment. So when I do shoulder cars, it sounds like someone's spinning a jar of marbles. Jonathan, me too, and it is normal. So when doing that shoulder mobility, if you feel or if you hear audible snap, crackles, and pops, that's okay, as long as there's no pain with it. So again, whether it's your hip, whether it's your shoulder, whether it's your knee, snap, crackles, and pops are okay as long as there's no pain associated with it. So go ahead and continue this movement out. Again, you go from that down dog position into that pigeon. Back into that down dog, into that pigeon. So again, if you'd like to take the movement a little faster than me, please feel free to do so. If you'd like to take it a little slower, again, just listening it to your body with the movements. Go ahead and continue that out for 10 more seconds. Very nice, everyone. So we're going to go ahead and transfer over into our spider walk. I know with the last couple weeks, I've gone and flared that up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine 3 movements in one. So let me go ahead and demonstrate. So push-up high plank position, wrist beneath your shoulders. I'm going to go ahead and step my right foot in, drop that elbow lifting up. So that's our level 1 spider walk. From there, I'm going to go ahead and bend my back knee, coming up into that hip flexor stretch, rotate into my lateral lunge. So to show you from my other foot, it's going to go spider walk, lift up into that lunge, rotate, pivot into your lateral lunge. So it's 3 movements together. We're going to stick to one side for a minute, then we'll switch. So avoid alternating. So I'm going to go left foot first. Left foot, drop that elbow, lift up. Drop that back knee, come up, rotate, lateral lunge. Come back all the way. Drop that elbow, lift up. Drop that back knee, pivot, lateral lunge. You got it? Again, drop that elbow, lift up. Drop that back knee, lunge, straight into that lateral lunge. So for those who experience pain with the lunge, go ahead and drop the knee completely. So I'm doing the movement just like so. Drop your knee. Go from here, stand up, twist, lateral lunge. So go ahead and break the movements apart. I'm combining all 3 together to make it a flow. But for those who experience a little bit of pain, go ahead and slow the movement down just a little bit. So the way it'll look is your spider walk, drop your knee, lift up, stand up, lateral lunge. 3 movements combined. We've got 15 seconds and we'll switch. Drop that knee, lift up, stand up, lateral lunge. Last one here, everyone, and we'll switch our side. Drop that knee, lift up, lateral lunge. Very nice. Let's go ahead and switch. So I'm going to switch my side. So now right foot. You're going to start off in that push-up high plank position. Step that right foot in, drop that elbow, lift up, drop the back knee, lunge into your lateral lunge. Again, for those who would like the modification, you're simply going to drop that knee. Elbow down, lift up, drop the back knee, lunge, rotate into your lateral lunge. And when you do that lateral lunge, just be mindful about keeping that neutral spine. What I mean by that, again, is even though I'm leaning down with a neutral spine. Just a couple things to keep in mind. Again, drop that elbow, find that rhythm, and go ahead and continue that out. Or find that pace, actually. Whether it's slower than mine, faster than mine, whatever makes you feel good. Into that lateral lunge. Continue that movement out. We've got 15 seconds and we'll be up on our feet. You've got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand up onto your feet. We're going to go with our toe touch squat. So feet are going to be hip distance apart. You're going to go into your hip hinge. So hip hinge. Again, we're going to find movement within movement. So here, I'm going to go ahead and rock my hips as long as that feels good. Come down into my squat. From here, again, movement. As long as your heels stay on the ground. Hands back down, hips up. With a different angle. You go hip hinge. You're going to find movement within the movement. Woohoo! We're good. Going down into that squat. Again, movement within the movement. Hips right back up. If the movement within movement does not feel good, take it out. For me, it allows me to it gives me a deeper pull or a deeper stretch in my hamstrings as well as in my hips. Just take your time here, make sure you're breathing. When you're in that deep squat, make sure you have your chest nice and high. So if you have a mirror, go ahead and use that or go ahead and do it in front of that. But I want your shoulders to still be nice and high. So a way to check is use your elbows to pry your knees apart. That should help you keep your shoulders in that boxed square position. So keep this out. We've got 15 seconds to go. Add that rocking movement if it feels good, as long as your heels stay on the ground. So keep that up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice, guys. Let's go ahead and do the internal rotation that we did last time. So with this, you're going to go into a sumo squat. Sumo squat, meaning your feet are wider than your shoulders and your toes pointing out. What you're going to do is come down into that squat. I'm going to give you 2 different variations. The level 1 is going to be rotating. And when I rotate, think about it as you're rotating from your hips. So I'm doing the movement from my hips. So a level 1, I rotate completely. A level 2, I'm going to roll to the side of my foot, just like so. Level 2 is rolling to the side of your foot. But again, with both of these movements, you should not feel any knee pain because we're initiating the movement from our hips. So whatever's going to make your hips feel better, go ahead and do that movement. I'm going to trickle both in. So for those who are doing a level 1, this is how it's going to look. I'm still initiating the movement from my hips. For those who are doing a level 2, you're going to roll onto the side of your foot. That was not a good demonstration of it. There we go. Rolling on the side of your foot. That is challenging for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do my level 1. I like to keep my hands on my hips, so I make sure that when I'm completing the movement, I know that I'm doing it with my hips. Keep that movement out. Continue. Sorry about that. Continue that movement out, guys. We've got 15 to go. Again, I like to place my hands on my hips to make sure that I'm initiating the movement from my hips. Keep that up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 final movements, guys, and we're all done. So now we're gonna go ahead and do our scorpion. Scorpion is a nice little back stretch, or a low back stretch. So to initiate this, you're gonna go ahead and lie on your belly, allowing your hands to come out into a T position. So just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my head up so I can explain, but ideally I want you to keep your head down. What I'm gonna do is lift my foot up, take it towards my palm, come back in. I lift my foot up, taking it towards my palm, come back in. So you lift up, take it towards your palm. You're gonna be alternating here, up, towards your palm. You wanna be mindful about keeping both shoulder blades on the ground. So it's gonna give you a nice little pull throughout your posterior chain, so throughout the back. You're gonna feel a nice little pull in your shoulder, and you're gonna feel a nice little pull in the low back. Just be cautious when doing the movement. For those who would like a modification for this one, if it does not feel good, you're going to go ahead and go leg crossover. So lying on your back, you're gonna go lift, take it towards your palm. You're gonna basically be doing the same exact movement, but on your back. So again, for those where the scorpion does not feel good on your back, on anything, go ahead and do it on your back. So lifting up, taking your leg across your body. So continue that out for 15 more seconds, guys. One final movement, and we're done. Breathe through that movement, lifting that leg up, taking it across your body or towards your palm. Up, towards your palm. You've got 10 seconds left. We're gonna end off with our crocodile breathing, and we will be done. Keep it up for 4, 3, 2, 1. So crocodile breathing is gonna be done on your belly. You're gonna stay in the position that you're in now. Only thing I want you to change is I want you to rest your head on your forearms. So just like so. What you're gonna do from there, after you've rested your head on your forearms, you're gonna go ahead and take a deep breath in, about 7 seconds in, allowing that rib cage and that belly to expand. You're gonna hold for 4 up top, and you're gonna go ahead and exhale for about 8 seconds, bringing your belly button towards your spine. So let's go ahead and do that movement. Again, you're gonna go about a 7-second inhale, holding at the top for 4 seconds. Then when you exhale, draw your belly button into your spine. Inhaling, allowing that belly to expand. Exhaling, drawing that belly button into your spine. So go ahead and continue that movement out. We just want to get our heart rate back to our settled position or back to our resting position. Again, just go ahead and breathe. For those who don't like being on their stomach, you can do the same exact movement on your back. You'd go hands on your rib cage, same exact thing. Deep breath in, hold at the top, exhale, draw your belly button into your spine. Keep going for about 15 more seconds, guys. That should give you time for about 2 more deep breaths. Again, deep breath in, holding at the top, exhale, draw that belly button into your spine. Keep that up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very nice, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another Move Well Wednesday segment. I will see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.